Filmmaker Mike Bennett and Brayden Olson openly discuss their journey together, forming a deeply moving portrait of Brayden's path to finding his father. The following conversation is an audio journal of their experiences. We hope you enjoy.
Well, let's just jump straight into it. So we flew to Miami separately. Well, the plan was we were going to approach his partner or his wife. This whole trip was basically like, I hope she's there. And it was Mother's Day. She could have been out of town. We had no idea. So we were just kind of showing up hoping that she was going to be there or that Carlos wasn't going to be there.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to approach her, not Carlos, which I think we've said. So we have like 3 or 4 days before we have to go in there just to kind of like figure out our game plan or just like get like psyched up or like, you know, or like maybe it all falls apart and we can just go home and we're happy.
I think it was more like, what were you going to say to this woman? Like,
well, yeah. And obviously that
that was the hardest.
Just
thing.
walk up to someone and say,
yeah, like she's basically your stepmom.
Yeah. And it randomly was Mother's Day, which is crazy. We did not plan that.
Yeah. So after a year and a half, we've decided to approach Carlos's partner and come clean to her. And Brayden was going to...
And it's Father's Day tomorrow.
Yeah. Which is weird too.
Yeah. Well, as we're recording this, so...
Yeah. The lead up was crazy. We were only in Florida for a week. And in this week, our goal was for Brayden to confess to Carlos's partner that he had a son and that he was the son.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go from there. It was a big week for sure. Anyway, so we wake up morning of. We had kind of a very strange morning.
So
we should just tell it quickly, but
okay. So basically, we wake up. We're going through lines. I'm like rehearsing what I'm gonna say. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear so I don't look like crazy, and I end up looking kind of crazy. And then we hear all these screams from out. Like we need to leave. We need to go, or we're gonna be late to give us time to get there. Because we want to get there right when they open so that we can approach her when she's not busy. And we just thought that was the best plan. And to get it done. We don't, and then the rest of the day we do whatever the fuck we want. Anyways, we hear these like person just getting up and we hear these like screams in the hallway at our friend's apartment building. And we're like, I thought like, oh my God, like someone's being attacked. Someone's hurt. Someone needs help. So I'm like, oh shit. Like, so Mikey goes out. I'll let you tell.
I mean, basically, we won't even go too deep in it. So morning of, there's a woman outside our door who's about 60 years old. She has a huge butcher's knife and she's stabbing the door directly across.
Saying that there's people coming out of her vents.
Yeah. So
Mikey goes out to try and help her and then realizes she has a knife and we go back inside and the police come and it's...
Yeah. Brayden has to call 911 because we can't exit the building.
This lady's going to stab someone.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not... like, and then I'm worried and I don't tell the police that she has a knife because I don't want them to come in and fucking shoot her. So I'm just like, hey, there's a woman here who's like in some sort of mental distress and she needs help. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Well, I'm not going to walk by this woman when she has this giant butcher's knife. So we're just kind of like, okay, this needs to end so we can like get on with our day, but we can't leave the part. So anyways, that was like, that happened. And then like, well, nothing can get me more adrenalized than that. I mean, that was like,
yeah,
that was like kind of a good, like a really weird story, but like a good way to like get my nerves like going because that was scarier than going to meet her almost. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was like nearly a weird distraction from your own mental state. So the police come, they calm her down, they take the knife away from her, and
we
then
were able to walk by.
We were able to get out our apartment door and then go to have breakfast together to go over our plan.
Yeah.
To go meet, Carlos's partner and Brayden to confess that he's Carlos's son. You went through the motions of like this kind of...
Well, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah. And then it was like, what the fuck do you say? That was so weird. Like we basically got it to the script. We had like a whole script written out and then we got it to like, you couldn't remember anything because you were just freaking out constantly. And you even said, I'll play the clip.
I've never had this where I just can't remember anything. Look, this is weird. I don't want to be here and I'm very scared that Carlos, sort of bulletproof. I just want to get it over with. I should be ready actually in case she does pass out.
That you couldn't remember anything.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like nothing would stick in your memory. So I kind of came up with this plan. Well, okay, you've just got to say, hi, how are you? I'm really scared. This is really weird for me. I have this information. I'm Carlos's son.
But that was too much to say. I mean, I needed to get it down to like basically so I could just say it in like fucking in my sleep, like, hey, this is weird. I'm Carlos's son. Are you like Yurio's wife? Like, you know, I still can't say it. I still don't know what I said, but
we can play a short and take of it. I will say the lead up of that morning. So the whole week's building. We're in Florida, and the whole week's building up to Mother's Day.
Knowing what we have to go do,
yeah,
and knowing that we don't really want to. I mean, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I haven't seen you like that throughout this whole thing. You were definitely petrified.
Could you imagine like going up to a complete stranger and saying that you're my stepmom and he's my father, and not knowing what they're gonna say? What, you look like a crazy person, which we can talk about, but like she thought I was. So basically it's in this giant, and I had never been here. Mikey's been here multiple times.
Yeah, I will say I
check in and
filmed Carlos in this business place before.
I would explain it as like, it's like a giant outdoor, indoor like mall, but it's just all these little stalls and vendors. It's very weird.
And it's on the side of a highway.
Yeah.
Florida.
It's very Florida. Like, it's pretty cool, but everything there is just junk. It's just like shit.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some.
I would agree. It's like weird stalls.
It's like weird swap meet stuff, but like.
So anyway, we go out there. By this stage, you're really starting to get in your own brain, and you really, once we get to the actual strip mall where the crystal store is, you know, I have to go inside to check that Carlos isn't working and that it is his partner working, because we didn't want to like confess to Carlos, because our gut feeling after all this time is that he would not take this well and he might explode, or God knows what will happen. So I go in, I do a recce. She is working. So that's kind of a relief, but then Brayden's like, shit, like now
I kind of was hoping that she wasn't there.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, now I actually have to do this. Like, so then you're in the car and you are freaking out. I mean, I'll play the clip.
All right, so Mikey went in and did some reconnaissance, and he couldn't tell if she was there because he didn't get close enough. So he's going to go back inside right now, or he's already inside right now. Oh, shit, here he comes, actually.
Okay.
What's up?
So here's the deal. So she is in there.
She's in there.
Yeah.
Fuck! It's definitely her?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can do this. I feel like I'm like on fire. I mean, do I just hand this to her? This is really weird. I'm really scared, but I'm pretty sure that you know Carlos pretty well, and he's my father. I have a feeling that you know him better than anyone.
And that's why I'm going to you as opposed to going to him.
Yeah. Fuck, that's a lot to say.
I think he'll get there, but you just concentrate on the first 3 bits. This is weird, I'm scared, and Carlos is my father.
I mean, we can go in and try, but I might have to walk out. It might take me a few times.
I honestly didn't know if you'd do it or not.
Yeah, it's too much. It's all too much. I need to like get some help. Yeah. This is horrible. This is the worst. This is like serving like divorce papers or something. That's why they have people do this shit for you.
I've never been this far out of my comfort zone. Like, this is crazy. This is insane. I never thought I would be doing this.
Yeah. We'll go in.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm just telling you.
Well, it's alright, we can try. I'm going to turn the camera off when I get through the door.
I kind of had to like walk
Something like,
through.
I mean, I kind of like, I didn't do it. Like, somebody just kind of like took over and did it. And like, I was like watching myself.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Anyways, I psyched myself up in the food court for like 20 minutes and like,
Oh,
I
will say just so.
it probably looked crazy.
Yeah, so just so the viewers understand, so their crystal store backs onto a food court. So I was able to sit in the food court away from Brayden, and I had a small little handy cam.
Sony. We can give out the model if they want to send us a few more.
And so I'm kind of like got a soda, and I'm sitting in the food court watching Brayden from a distance and zooming in on him. And so I'm able to film both the crystal store and
like
Brayden.
Sweating.
He looked insane.
It looked like I was
pacing up and down this.
And there's no one there. It's very early. So everyone's looking at me all crazy.
Yeah, you're trying to psych yourself up. And I can kind of see you talking to yourself. So you did look insane.
I was talking to myself.
I mean, I can even play the clip because I think you were recording into your phone or something.
Sitting here waiting to get the courage to go up and say something. I guess I just gotta do it. Alright. Fuck it.
I have to get out of here. And the only way to get out of here is to like either bail, tell Mikey like I can't do this. And I kind of was coming over to tell you. I was like,
I thought you were gonna back out.
I was trying to. I was like, I don't know. Maybe we come back, at a different time. This isn't right. But then like something, you were like, get the fuck out of here, because
I was just
you're gonna
like,
blow my cover.
Yeah, you've just got to do it. Like, go now. It's now or never.
So I walked up to. You can bleep that out.
Yeah.
And
You walked up to the crystal
I
store.
walked up to the crystal store, and there's a woman there like making a necklace, and she looks really sweet. And she goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And I go, "Pretty good." And I'm like, not, and then she's like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "No, I'm just kind of looking." And then I go, "I'm okay. How are you?" Yeah, this is really weird, and this is really awkward, and I don't know how to say it. Are you Pamela? Do you know Carlos? I think he's my dad.
All right.
I don't want anything. I've been curious, and this is just really weird for me.
Okay. Well, where's your mother?
Her name's Barb. I don't want anything. I didn't want to approach him because it's a very weird thing to say, and this is, I'm 37 years old, so I didn't know. I thought if I came to you and asked you what you would think, and
I mean, I wouldn't know what to tell you on that, other than, the only way you could ever know would be to send him a test.
I have one.
You have one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did he?
What?
Has he submitted to a test?
I don't know. I was sent this information on Ancestry.com.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't want to freak you out, or I'm sure this is like not what you were expecting today.
No.
Yeah, and I don't want to like ruffle anyone's feathers or, interrupt anything, because I don't want anything. I just want to know, and I'm getting older, and like I go something along the lines of, look, this is really weird, but are you Carlos's wife? Or no, are you Pam? I go, are you Pam? And she goes, yeah. I go, do you know Carlos? And she goes, yeah, I'm his wife. And I go, okay, well, this is really weird, and this is like really hard for me to say, but I think he's my dad. And then I'm like turning probably like ghost white, and she's like, your dad? Like basically she thinks I'm a crazy person because I'm all sweaty and like clammy and like awkward. That's how I usually am. And then she is like basically denying it. She's basically saying like, well, what makes you think that? Like, who are, like, okay, like, can I help you with anything else? And then I was like, and then I busted out the paperwork.
Insert, like, Brayden had printed out the documents from Ancestry.com.
Some nice papers.
That had shown in a certificate form that he was Carl's son through DNA proof. So when she freaked out and said, well, do you have a test?
No, she goes, oh, well, what? Do you want him to, like, take a test or something? She said it, like, very, like sort of like, she had a wall up, like, because
she put a gun
up.
Who
the fuck are you? Like,
yeah.
And I go, well, no, we don't need to do that. Like, I actually have this. And then I hand it to her, and then everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything, her wall disintegrates in front of us, and she looks at me and goes, she knows.
Didn't she say, like,
she said, well, I do know something that happened a long time ago, but it's not really my place to get involved. And I kind of was like, well, but it is, like, I want to know. And basically we just talked for like 10 minutes. It was just sort of mind-blowing. And she said over and over that Carlos did not know that he had a child. He's either going to be denial or playing dumb or really doesn't know. This is going to sound sad, but I personally want to believe that he didn't know because it makes me feel better.
Right.
But part of me also thinks that like maybe he knew, but he told her he didn't. I don't think she's lying. I think that maybe he's in denial, or he thinks my mom got an abortion because it was, so that's kind of like what I want to figure out next is like,
yeah,
I
mean, it also doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but let's back up a bit. Pam, she's so fucking nice.
Yeah, Pam, who's Carlos's partner.
She's like the nicest person. And she was like, I'm an orphan, so I know what it's like. to not know your parents. And we talked for a while, and then
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that
and then-
she revealed that she grew up an orphan.
she was just so nice to me and so sweet, and just kept saying, I really don't want you to think that you grew up with your father knowing you were alive. Like he did not know, like things would have been different. And like, she's like, I don't know how he's going to react after, 30 something years ago. I'm really happy that you came to me first
and not him.
And so that really solidified that, like, okay, this was a good decision. So she actually,
let's back up. So when you go and meet Pamela, who's Carl's partner, you do talk for 10 minutes. It is crazy, but you leave it with, you've written your contact number
on a piece of paper
on top of the DNA results.
And I didn't ask for her number.
And you just said, this is my number. If he ever wants to call me, or if you ever want to call me, you can. And then
I
walked out.
And I was like, well, I don't have her number, so I might never hear from her.
Yeah, so we go back and I follow you outside after you leave her. Also, hang on, a big detail is she says, can I take a photo of you?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh God, like, this is the first photo my father's going to see it. Like,
yeah.
It was very awkward, and I probably looked like, I'm like, is he going to judge if he wants to talk to me off this photo? Like, that was going through my head, like, so I think I'm like stupid. And that's like just some mental shit that like I shouldn't give a fuck about, but that's like how I feel.
Yeah, because I remember from a distance.
And I remember just like trying to like put on like, do I look cool? I think I did a peace sign. Like if I looked like insane, like I had cowboy boots on, like a see-through shirt, and like I look crazy. And I don't know, man. Like,
well, hang on, you came outside of the crystal, or she came outside of the crystal store, and I'm also watching from a distance in the food court. So, and I can't really hear. So I'm like, this is crazy just from watching it. And she takes this photo of you and you're posing in the weirdest way. You're like changing your hair, doing peace signs. Oh my God, maybe take another one. Like, cause you're like, shit, this is the first image my dad's ever going to see.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or like a recent, or like, he's going to get this today and hey, this is your son. And like, if I don't know, I was like, well, I want to look cool.
Yeah. I think the craziest thing is she took the photo and then she's tearing up, and like you were too. And then she said, okay, well, thanks for coming to see me, Brayden. And then you guys went to like say goodbye, and she nearly went to hug you.
I was going to hug her too.
And then like you both
shook
stopped
hands.
And short of that and did this weird handshake. But it was weird, man. It was crazy. There was a lot of energy like going into that meet at the end. And then you kind of stormed out the door and you called your fiance, and we could play the clip of that.
Look, I don't want anything. I'm curious. I'm getting married. I'm getting older. And she said, and then she really warmed up. She was like, look, I don't want you to think that he didn't want anything to do with you. Your mom wouldn't let him see you. And so he just finally was like, he moved on.
And then in the car, post that, it's like the shock.
It was insane. That went much better than I thought. I don't have her number though. I didn't get her number. She has my number. So she said it might be a few weeks before, she said, we'll just take it slow.
Which is fine.
And I said, yeah, that's totally fine. I didn't ask for her number or anything, so I know, where she works. So that's that.
Oh, it's a relief.
Yeah, but now he's getting, now...
Yeah, but that was the best possible outcome, let's face it. The fact that she was like, oh my God, I'll take a photo and send it to him.
I wonder if she's calling him right now.
I mean, I wish we could film the reaction of him getting that photo for the first time.
You're also like, holy shit, I'm at the mercy now of this woman.
Well, the ball's in their court.
Yeah. So now I guess the development in the story is that Carlos' partner will tell him that he has a son that is looking for him and wants to meet him. That's the development.
Yeah.
So we come back to New York and we're like, holy shit, that was crazy. And she doesn't call for at least, we can play the voicemail.
This could be really sad. She could basically tell me that he doesn't want to meet me,
Hello? Oh, hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm okay. Oh, no, this is hard. I just wanted to touch base with you. I did not want to just not talk to you and say anything to you. Of course, he's going to need some time for this.
I know.
This is just not something he ever expected, really, honestly. I mean, honestly. He thought this was done 30-something years ago, and he did not think that he had a child.
I've listened to that conversation, and I need to let her talk, because I'm always like, I think I come off strange because she'll say like, you know, like it's just really hard for him, and then I go and I interrupt her. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know anything. Like, why am I saying like I know? It must be, you know. It's like I usually kind of like let her talk, but she's been really supportive, and she's been like the mediator now between me and Carlos. I haven't talked to her in 3 weeks, but she like called me and just said, and not just pretend like this is all good. Like, right. Like,
I mean, I guess the biggest takeaway from the most recent conversation is that that she has said that Carlos isn't taking the news very well.
Yeah.
So,
and I said this would probably take him months, but then one day I feel like I might just get a call.
Yeah. So I said to you, how? Because
what
think
do you got to do with that call? It's just like,
I don't know. I think you and Carlos are so similar in a lot of ways. And I said to you when we went for dinner after you met Pamela, it was like we were celebrating a little bit. Like it was like kind of a relief for you. And I said, so say Carlos was your son, how would you approach this? And you said, I wouldn't deal with this for like 6 months. And then at the spur of a hat, I would.
And then if I woke up one day and everything was kind of going good and I felt good, I'm like, you know, fuck it.
Yeah. You would.
Maybe I have 3 martinis, you know, instead of 2. And then, I mean, I'm just saying it's like there's an edge. And then once it tips, you know?
Yeah. So I think when I got you to say how you would handle it, you felt more comfortable again. You're like, okay, he's probably going to do the exact same thing. So now we're kind of just, the ball's in their court and we're leaving it for them to...
God, it's been in their court for like a month now. And so with Father's Day, I almost think like, you know, maybe we could record it maybe later today or tomorrow, and maybe I text Pam and ask if she wants to talk, and, you know.
I think it's important that you and Pamela start talking regularly.
Should I say, hey, tell Carlos Happy Father's Day?
No.
Or is that fucked
You don't
up?
need to wish him shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There's no harm in that you develop a relationship with Pamela and start talking with her, because she knows this person better than anyone. She knows Carlos literally better than anyone in the world. That's where we're leaving it. We're not forcing anything anymore. I think we're personally taking a step back.
And it's kind of interesting because before we recorded podcasts, we always had something to do next.
Yeah.
But now we're just kind of like waiting to see like where the river goes. And then,
yeah, totally.
Depending on what happens, like let's say he doesn't get back to us. Well, that's not the end of the story.
No, I think he will. It's just one of those things that's going to take time. I think you're going to have to spend some time talking with Pam, and then through her, understanding him a bit better. Ideally, we'd love to have a sit-down, filmed conversation with Carlos. I mean, it's one thing you and Carlos meeting. It's another thing saying, oh, by the way, there's going to be some cameras and film crew on you.
Yeah.
So we got to work slowly towards this end goal. Then who knows? It could go in so many different directions. Like you said on previous podcasts, like we want to understand him better. We want to know his roots better, his relationship with his father. Like we want to go into his mind. We've gone into your mind this whole time. So now it's time to like reverse that and then dig a little deeper into him.
Also, side note, our listeners know that my mom lives in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
In this random job she has. She's working now an hour from where I live up in the middle of nowhere.
We think that Brayden's mother will actually be our first guest on the podcast, if we can.
Yeah, she'll be here in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that will be a very interesting podcast.
I think we should show her the trailer, because she thinks this is just some like little like rinky-dink thing that we kind of work on, but like we're like all in.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my future.
Yeah.
Like let's try and do this for other people, and like let's make this as legit as possible.
Yeah, we are all in. This has been nearly 2 years now,
so I think she'd be shocked and appalled to see the actual trailer that we actually did something. I don't think she's expecting much, which is cool.
Yeah, I don't know if we should show it.
Oh, we should show her and then get her immediate reaction as our guest. Like, hey, we're gonna watch this and then start recording.
I would also like her to sit with her and for her to ask me questions about Carlos, because obviously I've talked to him and no one has talked to him.
Well, I also maybe we reveal that I approached Pam and say this is what she said. So that will be our first guest is my lovely mother in a couple of weeks. So there's a lot of stuff we can do while we're waiting for like to see what's gonna happen. So
yeah, that will be a crazy episode. So yeah, we're gonna leave it there actually, and we'll just tune in.
Are we missing anything?
No, I think that's it. I mean, that's the crux of it. Like, it was a crazy week. Brayden met his Carlos's partner. He confessed that he's Carlos's son. He gave her DNA proof, and he left his number with her, and he got a photo. She took a photo of Brayden and sent it to Carlos. And then we now know from post phone calls that Carlos isn't taking this information very well.
But I wonder how.
So the ball's in in his court.
We're just like,
and I think
it's up to them.
Yeah, I think Brayden should just, develop his relationship with her, Pamela, and because she knows Carlos better than anyone, and we'll just take it from there.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.